Hey guys, welcome back to another Toy Bro review, and today we are going to take a look at one of the Club Grayskull figures from Mattel Collector. We are going to take a look at the Beastman figure as I work my way backwards through the line. And we've got our figure here. We'll take a quick look at packaging because it's pretty much the same that we've seen in the other figures that I reviewed, so I'll move him to the side real quick. We've got our jawbridge type slipcover here. Pull that off. You can see the interior window box with the Castle Grayskull style packaging with the windows all over. We've got a filmation style shot of the Beastman himself, and then a write-up of the show. So, cool packaging, very collector friendly, just not a lot to talk about at this point. Let's bring him back into frame here, and there he is. So if you've seen the Filmation He-Man and the Masters of the Universe show, you know what you're getting here. This guy is quite show accurate, I think, almost to a fault, because I'm going to preface this review by saying while I really do like this figure, and I like all of the figures in this line except for Evil Lynn, and that's because of all of her technical issues. I think Beastman's probably the most plain, so from a figure standpoint, he's probably my least favorite. But from a technical standpoint, I still think he's better than Evil Lynn, just because the execution is better here. So let's take a look at him and go over kind of what we've got. Honestly, there's not tons to talk about. Most of what he's got is kind of in just some of the differences between the Classics figure and kind of the head sculpt. So we'll take a look at the accessories first, because I got them in his hands, and we'll pop those out, and then we'll take a look at the figure. So we've got his whip, which is just a non-flexible, rigid piece of black plastic. It's already in the style pose. He can hold it just fine in his right hand. And then he's got this shield, which is just a kind of a somewhat metallic silver, but not really, and it just clips onto his wrist. Nothing special. This one's actually dented because of where the clip is. It pulled the plastic down. We'll move those to the side, and we'll take a look at our figures. So we'll go over articulation first. His head can rotate. It does have some up and down movement, but I guess you say his collar, his mane gets in the way. The arms can go up and around, bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, wrist has hinge and a swivel. He does have a crunch. The chest armor, which is the main, because this thing pops off here at these two pieces, so you could pop it off and make him naked, I guess. He does have a crunch though. This is just going to get in the way. It's just the way it is. He does have waist twist. Legs can go all the way out, so you can get him to, do the splits if you want. And then his legs could go all the way forward, but the loincloth is going to impede that just a bit, and then they go back a hair. He does have rotation at that joint at the thigh, single jointed knee. He does have boot, shin swivel, and then he has those janky, ugly ankles that we've seen before, which, I don't care for these. I think they're very ugly. They do help with posing, but I just don't like them. So there's no swivel at the ankle. He has a full-on rocker and a hinge though, and my joints are kind of ugly looking. Honestly, they look like they all got chopped up, but functionality-wise, they're all right. So he's pretty basic in terms of articulation, but he's not anything unexpected for a Motu figure. As far as sculpt goes, this is where the character really shines, I think, because this is pretty much a damn near perfect interpretation of this character in terms of the Filmation style, I think. So, he's got that furry mane, the collar, he's got the blue emblem there, we've got the loincloth, we got the spikes on his arms, and then we've got that head. And I think the head is really where he kind of shines, and that's really what has all of the Filmation details. So you can see his sunken eyes and just the differences in the hair to the flesh tones, and then those teeth. So I think he looks really good, and it's actually a very, accurate depiction of the figure. I just think ultimately, because of the fact that they do these in such flat colors, he's kind of boring, especially when I compare him to the other figures. So, like I said, he's probably my least favorite, but I still like this figure. I love the fact that we got a Filmation Beastman. Now, as far as paint goes, there's not a ton. So the blue on the emblem on the mane is painted. We've got these painted bracers, the belt and the loincloth. and the face. Obviously, the face has paint, but the rest, this is all molded. The body is all molded, and it's all flat. There's no real shading because it's mimicking that Filmation cartoon style. So, you know, while in some ways that's probably a negative to some people, it's the intention of the line. Whether it's to save money ultimately or not, you know, who knows? It probably was. But it's what they intended to do, and that's what they did. So I can't fault them for that. The face does have a good amount of paint on it. It's got the head is painted. It's not molded in orange, and the orange is actually slightly different color than the body. And then the face, the flesh tones are painted. The teeth and the black kind of shading in the mouth is painted. And then we've got the blue and the white and the black in the eyes. So I think he looks pretty good. I'm very overall pleased with the figure. I just think that if you compare him next to He-Man or Skeletor or Trapjaw or Evil Seed or Clawful, you know, for me, he's not as good as those, and it's just personal opinion in that regard. I still like the figure. Even Evil Lynn's design, I think, is better than Beastman, just in this style of figure, but her figure is a crapshoot, so he's a better technical figure in that regard. So let's wrap this guy up, I guess. All right, so overall, like I said, I think more than enough. I like the figure. He's just not the top of my list for this line, and that's not a bad thing. It's not really a negative. I'm always going to have a favorite and least favorite for a specific line of figures. He just happens to be towards the bottom. I like the design. I like the fact that he's very cartoon accurate. I like the included accessories, and I love that face sculpt. The face looks really good. It pops against that mane, and he looks like the Filmation cartoon. So ultimately, you know, he's not going to top He-Man or Skeletor for me in this line, but he's a cool looking figure. He doesn't have any, you know, real paint issues or sculpt issues that I can tell like Evil Lynn had, so that's a plus on its own. If you like the Filmation show, you probably got this guy, and I would bet you're pretty pleased with him. So that's going to do it for this one. As always, stay tuned for more reviews. We're gonna plow through this line and get all the way back up to He-Man because I'm doing things backwards here, and we're going to finish this line out pretty soon. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time, everyone.